Self-sabotage. You
Hey
guys,
guys.
we are back and we are going to talk about self-sabotage. We did an episode earlier this year about it. It was a cute little episode, and we both gave examples of how we have both done things to sabotage our own personal growth in certain ways. And we want to
Go
come
check out
back
that
to that.
video.
Yes, yes. But today we want to come back to that topic and delve more into it on a little deeper level, right?
Hmm.
So let me give you a reminder of what we mean when we say self sabotage. We're talking about the times when you know you're supposed to do something and you don't do it on purpose, and then you say, "Oh, well, it's okay. It wasn't meant to be." But really, it was just you getting in your own way because you were really afraid to do it, or you didn't have the energy at that
The
time to do it.
motivation.
Not no motivation, but yet and still the next day you still had the same complaint about that thing that you know you need to like get up off of your patootie and
You're
and
high.
and
You're hiding.
and do something about it, right? Right. I have a lot of clients who self sabotage, right? So I'll just start it off, Coach Jay, and then you can chime in if something I'm saying resonates with you, like with any of your clients. So a client comes to mind who he really wants to lose weight. Like, he been talking about losing weight. I've had him for over a year. We've been talking about his plans on losing weight, right?
Hmm.
We meet every week, sometimes it's every other week. We're meeting every other week for a while. We had this plan. Now, I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a personal trainer, I'm a mental health professional, right? But I'm here to help you hold yourself accountable. I
Hmm.
will do that, right?
Yes.
And so what we were doing was we were linking this to his mental health issue. He's very much depressed, right? And very much has low self-esteem, low self-confidence, negative thoughts about himself. He thinks that he's being judged by others all the time, and he's very self-conscious about himself and about his weight. So I asked him, when was the time when you were at your ideal weight and when you were most happy? And he showed me a picture. He was smiling. He talked about the health regimen that he was on at one time, and it was a really good regimen he was on too. Like he's had like a whole diet plan he was working on. He was working out 5 times a week, lifting 4 times a week at least, doing cardio, all this stuff, right? And
Oh wow.
every day, same time, all this stuff. And I said, okay, so that means you can get back to that.
Hmm.
Because that was like what, a few years ago? The picture wasn't that old. He's like, yeah, I could get back to it. So I just find it easier to just stay in bed and just,
Hmm.
sleep or just, watch my shows or just,
Hmm.
you know, get up and have my snacks, or just go out with my friends and just like party, and sit around and like and smoke and just talk. And that's mainly what I do now. And that's my self-care. I said, is it self-care or is it self-sabotage?
Because I mean, to me, it sounds like self sabotage. It don't sound like self care. I feel like self care is like something. I mean, self care could be anything. Whatever
Mhm.
that brings you joy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if those things is bringing him joy, then it's like, could it be self care? But then it's like, I don't believe that it's self care because uh, laying in bed watching your shows is kind of like you're depressed about something. Like you don't have the motivation to get up to go to the gym or to start that regimen or to
Mhm.
you know do something about something that you're wanting to change.
Exactly. Now, I wasn't shaming him for this. I
Of
said,
course, of course.
there's nothing wrong with having those lazy days,
Hmm.
right? But if your lazy day is every day, 7 days a week, then that's not healthy, right? Then that means that you're not doing enough to contribute to your own personal growth,
Hmm.
right? And so I said, okay, well, let's start off with small steps. So you used to work out 5 times a week. Now you're working out 0 times a week. How about you make a plan to work out 1 time a week, right? And then we'll see how that goes. We'll just get you back on track with it, right? And then we're not saying that you have to go all out either because we're talking he was doing like, weights and the cardio and like all this strenuous stuff, and his body is not prepared for that anymore. So you have to start off slow and build your way back up, right? We did it for a while, once a week, and then we even got up to 2 times a week. And then something happened. You want to know what happened?
I think I know, but go ahead.
So he went to a friend's house,
Mm-hmm.
and the friend's dad had not seen him in a long time. And the dad said, "Oh man, it's so good to see you. And you got a little big, didn't you?"
Mm-hmm.
He says that, and so the client says that that was a little bit embarrassing for him, but you would think that that would mean he would continue with what he was doing, we've been
Mm-hmm.
working on, going to the gym twice a week, continuing to monitor his eating and getting back on track. But instead, it went the opposite route. He got really
Mm-hmm.
sad. He got really he went inward with
Depressed.
it,
Yeah.
got more depressed, and then started engaging in self-sabotaging behaviors, lying in bed, thinking about the situation, thinking about how much weight he has gained, and emotional eating,
I
you
think that
know.
kind of like ties into like another video that we did not too long ago, with just not caring. You know, I think we have to understand that the way that like I think I said this in that same episode. You know, like we have to get to that place of not caring what other people say, no matter how much they may impact our life. You know, it could be someone that's a family member, a friend of a family, or whomever, and they may see us a certain type of way that we may not see ourselves, or we see that we're trying for ourselves, and they see like, ooh, like you said, your client is they went to this friend's house and the parent was like, oh, you gotten a little big. It's like, accept it. That's their opinion. You
Mhm,
know,
mhm,
we
mhm.
we all have one. You know, that's what they say. We all have one. You know, so at the end of the day, it's like at the end, you can't sit back and say I'm going to internalize this and you know
Yeah. Mhm.
move
Right.
accordingly with that process. It's like like I said in the episode, don't care. No, don't
Mhm.
care about what somebody else says about you. Don't care about how someone else may perceive you and all of those things. Like we have to push through. We have to figure out ways to make ourselves happy and to make ourselves look the way that we want to look. So if you want to look like you gained some weight, by all means,
Mhm.
if you want to
Mhm.
look extra buff, by all means, like live your life, do what makes you happy.
Mhm. Yes,
So,
right. So, in terms of self-sabotaging,
mhm,
right? Why do you think he did that? I think that sometimes we get comfortable being where we are, and we even get comfortable being depressed or being anxious, or having those same excuses for why we're living the
mhm,
way that we do. And because we're so stuck on that, we choose, like you said, to just do nothing.
mhm. They say it takes. I think they say it's like 21 days to break a habit.
Mhm.
So if your habit is to lay in the bed, watch TV, eat snacks, not work out, not, entertain your friends and family, not really see outside, it's going to be hard for you to get into that process of like wanting to do those things. Like, no, go outside. If you just walk your dog, walk your, take a walk
Right.
around your
Make it
apartment complex
fun.
or around your
Mhm.
block or whatever.
Mhm.
Call a friend. Hey, let's go to the theme park today, or this weekend or
Accountability
something.
partner. Right, accountability
Yes,
partner. Get someone
yes.
else involved in your journey with you that can
Hmm.
hold you accountable to yourself and can check on you and ask you how you're doing with that goal you set for yourself.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. I think that will also help with that process too. Like, you don't. Sometimes it could be a lot harder to do things by yourself because you're like, well, there's somebody holding me accountable for these things, so don't nobody care but me.
Mhm. Yes,
So.
that's the number one thing I tell clients to do when they have a personal goal for themselves is to tell one other person, at least, right? Because when you do that, that makes it real.
Hmm. Hmm. That's real.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's real.
Mhm.
Because especially if tell someone that's gonna really, be on you too. Don't just tell somebody that you talk to once a year, once every couple of months. Tell someone that you really talk to so that they can really be like, hey, so I thought you said you was gonna be, working out, 5 times a week. I ain't seen you in the gym since, 2 months ago. What's going on? You have to tell someone that's going to be on you, because that kind of defeats the purpose if you're telling somebody that you talk to once a month,
All
especially if it's
right,
somebody
Coach
that you know.
J. So,
I'm
Coach
just
J,
saying.
you taking your own advice? We had a discussion, and I
Hey,
was like, so we getting back, we getting back to it, right?
hey,
Ain't nothing to it
I'm
but
a,
to do it.
I'm gonna be honest with all of you guys. I'm gonna be so honest. I don't think that it's just. I hate the process of getting up early to go work out.
Oh, I understand that.
Cam, Cam tell you guys. Cam likes to get up at 4 a.m. to go work out. I'm exaggerating, but she likes to get up. She
No,
likes to
I'm
get
like,
up really early. She likes to get up at like 7 and be like, okay, let's go to the gym. 6 to 7, let's go to the gym. Let's go hiking. And it's like I'm here for it. Like I love to. I love to hike. Like I don't know if anybody knows this about me, but I actually enjoy hiking. Like it's so peaceful. It's
he
so
really does.
it,
Hmm.
it, like I really enjoy it. But like we said a couple of weeks ago, it's been really hot here. So for me, I don't like to be hot. You know,
Got
it's like
you.
I like to be like I want a nice little breeze. Like I feel like I'm already sweating because we're out hiking. So I need that breeze to keep me going. If it's just hot air, I'm gonna be like, I don't want to do this. Let's turn around. Let's get back in the car. You know. So
You
I'm
put
like,
yourself all the way on blast, Coach.
yeah.
I just was looking for some reassurance that we gonna get back on like we said we would. We got to keep each other accountable because there's times
Yes.
where I've called you, I texted you, and I was like, we're supposed to record, but I'm tired,
And I
and
was like,
you were like, yeah,
mm.
we getting on. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna take a shower. Okay, I'll be done. I'll wait for you. As soon as you're
Mhm.
done, we're gonna get
Let
this
me know.
recording done. And we
Let me
and
know
we
when you're
did
ready.
it.
Yeah.
Right. So we do it for each other, right? We do it for each other.
We got to be transparent though. So I had to tell on myself. So I had to be transparent. I had to tell them like, hey, I struggle too. It's not like, oh, we're just telling people these things and it's like, oh, you should do it even though I'm not doing it. It's like, no, I have to do those same things. Like I have to hold myself accountable. I have an accountable partner here that's gonna keep me, you know, on the line. Let's get to hiking.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep asking.
I mean, I feel like we could go
Yeah.
back to hiking like October. So come October, you
Yeah.
guys are gonna start seeing like pictures and stuff because it's starting to cool down here. So
Yeah, you'll see Coach J in the pictures
yeah,
again.
yeah. you'll see, you'll see, you'll see. The first hike, I'm gonna even post a little video that we took a hike and everything. So don't even worry about it. I'm gonna make sure that you guys know and keep you guys updated on that one because I want to get back to it. I promise. I really wish that we could hike through the summer and all of that, but it's so hot.
Yeah, no, I get it. I got it. I got it. But I just want to say, like, that's real life examples of how we help each other with accountability, and that's the same thing that we recommend to other people. You have to do
Mm-hmm.
that. That helps. If you make a promise to yourself, that's good and dandy. If you know how to practice self-discipline, but if you don't, then there's nothing wrong with asking for help and reaching out to your support system
Self
to
discipline can
encourage you
be
to do
very
that. Yeah.
self discipline can be very hard for a lot of people. So it's like I get it, but it's like that's why, like you said, that's why it's very important to have that partner to keep you on your toes.
Yep. Yes. Yes.
Period.
Right. So we're talking about self-sabotage, right? So I have another client story, a little short client story. I have a client who she feels that her whole life she's been very unlucky in love,
Mm,
right? And I've been working with her for a couple of years as well. And during that time, I've had a chance to really get to know her and know her story, know about her background. We've done a lot of trauma work. We did inner child trauma work. We're almost finished with that. And during that time, I learned that because of her trauma history, she grew up learning or feeling like she was not lovable or feeling like she didn't deserve love or that her opinion and her feelings didn't matter and she had to put herself last. So she was doing that even in her relationships with people. And so we talked about like previous boyfriends that she's had, and there was one particular boyfriend she had that she said he was really, really like everything to her. Like, he just checked off all of her boxes, but she said that she felt like she wasn't good enough for him, and she ended up engaging in self-sabotage behaviors. So,
Mm-hmm.
one example she said was that she really likes the fact that he was very chivalrous. He was very doting on her, gave her a lot of affection, gave her attention. He was very helpful to her around the house, but she's used to having people who need her to do those things. Need her to help around the house, needing her to cook and clean. She used to happen to be the one to comfort that other person, where he's was doing that for her. And so she started to think, well, what do I have to offer this person? Because everything that I normally offer, he's offering that to me. And he even told her that he didn't need her for that. He didn't need her for cooking and cleaning. He just enjoyed her for who she was. She did not know how to take that. And so instead of getting closer to him, she started to back away because in her mind,
Mm-hmm.
she could not understand what he saw in her. To her, she had no upper hand. She used to always have an upper hand with her previous boyfriend. So whether that was she made more money, or she was smarter than them, or she was younger than them, she always has some kind of angle where she felt like, okay, I know why he's into me.
Mm-hmm.
But with
Mm-hmm.
this person, he just was like, everything that she usually is better at, he was better at it, and
Mm-hmm.
she just could not handle that.
And it's 9 times out of 10, it kind of like stems from something that's happened in your childhood. You know,
Mhm,
like a lot of relationships, like our relationships are built on what happened to us in our childhood or what we saw in our childhood, and
mhm,
that's how our relationships. That's how we know what we like because we saw something that happened when we were 10 and 15 and all of that.
mhm,
Doesn't mean that they're the most healthiest. You
mhm,
know, and a lot of times they're not. A lot of times that we take on these behaviors and these things and we baggage and we take it into a relationship, and then we're expecting for someone to love us with all this unhealthy baggage, and it's like that's not fair to the person that's trying to love us, because at the end of the
yes.
day they're fighting something that they don't have a fighting chance.
Mhm,
It
mhm,
has nothing to
mhm,
do with them at all,
mhm,
but
mhm,
because we don't want to go and take the time out to deal with our childhood and the traumas that happened in our childhood, whatever that may have been. It's like we take it into our relationship, and then the relationship kind of goes sour because we're
mhm,
not taking the time for ourselves. That's
mhm,
self care. Take the time for yourself,
mhm,
and making sure that you're finding and seeking that help to where that you're going to be best for your partner. I believe that everyone that ever is in a relationship, therapy is very healthy, and
mhm,
it's not just for you all the time. It's for your partners, it's for your friendships, it's for everyone that's around you, that's in your circle, so that you
mhm,
can show up as the best you.
mhm, yes.
So like
And
I think
something
that
yeah, something else
I
that you
think
have
that's
to
very
do
important.
though, yeah, is you have to, when you talk about going to therapy, right, or
Hmm.
going to coaching, or
Hmm.
being honest with your friends and family about what you're doing, be open to feedback.
Hmm.
Be
Hmm.
willing to hold yourself accountable. Be willing to say, let me put my ego to the side and look at, the patterns here, and look at what I've been doing, with person to person, so I can make sure that I'm doing, taking a step towards becoming a better me, right? Some examples of how you can self-sabotage yourself in a relationship, right? Let's go over that
Hmm.
really briefly. Just a few things that I noticed. we will we will engage in game playing with the person, right? We'll play hard to get. We will be slow to respond to text messages, or we will ghost people, right?
Hmm.
We will wait for something to happen and then look for a reason to start an argument with someone, right?
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
we will try we try to catch them in a lie on purpose, right? Go, become like a PI, private investigator.
Detective, yes.
Yes, right. Yeah, right. Because we want to, do something. Or we will purposely go against what someone said, like purposely cross a boundary just because they said it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah, those are all toxic behaviors. We'll engage in name calling, yelling, screaming, cursing, but then get upset if they do the same to us. Right? Yeah.
you got to put that ego to the side, you
Mhm.
know. Like
Mhm.
I think in relationships, that's the main thing. It's like a lot of times relationships don't work because of our egos, you know. Because if you really put your ego to the side, you can really hear and take away certain things. Even if the relationship still goes sour, you can still take away so many good things from someone else that you can go and work on yourself about, so that when you
Right.
go into your next relationship, that's not something that you're constantly hearing all the time. Every relationship you're in, if you're hearing the same thing or the same things are happening, it's like you got to sometimes look at yourself and see, like, well, what am I doing wrong? You know, what am I attracting?
Right, right. That's why
What is
that's
it
why
that
I
I
have
need to work
issue
on?
with people who say stuff like there's no good women out here, or
Mm-hmm.
there's no good men out there, or all
Mm-hmm.
my exes were crazy. I have issue with that because
Mm-hmm.
that shows me a lack of accountability and a lack
Mm-hmm.
of self-reflection, right? Like you should be learning about yourself with each person that you date,
Mm-hmm.
and you should be able to go back and reflect on, you know what? Yeah, they did this, they did that, but also I have learned this. I have learned I need to work on that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And
But if
I
it's
did
but if
this,
it's
I did this.
yes, yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
It's a two-way street. It's not just one person in a relationship. It's not just, you know, this person did all these things to me and this person was just so crazy and this person did all this, but at the end of the day, you didn't do anything. You was just the saint. It's like, no, it takes two to tango, you know? Like it does. So it's like we can't always just blame one person. We have to take accountability for everything that happens in our lives, you know, whether
Mhm.
it's good or
Mhm.
bad, you know. You can't just say, oh, I won $1 million today, so that was something that was good. I did that. Like, you know, like no. You gotta
Mhm.
take the good with the bad, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, right. The good thing, you did that good thing, but when you got
Mm-hmm.
evicted, they
That
evicted you. That didn't
yeah.
have anything to do with you not paying your rent. It was just they evicted you.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lack of accountability right there.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. So it's like you
Mhm.
got to be open to hearing, like you said, other people's point of views and other people's feedback about
Mhm.
how they interpret you. You know,
Yes.
because a lot of times we may think that we're showing up one way,
And we're not.
and we're not showing up nowhere near with the way that we're thinking we're showing up. Someone else be like, nah, like, you always coming over here cursing people out every time you come over, and you may not even look at it that way. You may think
Right.
about it
And you
as
think, "Oh,
you just
everyone else causes drama. Everyone else is
yeah,
I'm drama, 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 but you're the one
yeah.
getting out the car with an attitude."
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you got to check your attitude at the door.
Mhm.
Every everybody does not deserve to be checked. You know,
Sometimes you got to check
it's
yourself. Mhm.
what did Larry June say? Check your tire pressure.
He said, "Don't check me, check your tire
Check your tire
pressure."
pressure. Okay, so check yourself.
Yeah, yes. Mhm.
So that's. I mean, you just gotta be open. And I think especially in relationships, like I feel like because we're dealing with someone else and we're dealing with someone else's traumas as well, it's like we have to be open. We can't just always expect for someone to always just look at us and be like, well, they got to be sensitive to me because I went through this and I did this and I had to deal with this. It's like, no, you got to be sensitive to what they went through too. We all have walked different lives, so we have
Right,
to be open to
right.
understanding that the reason why they are this way is because of whatever it is that happened to them in their life
Right, right.
before you.
That's something that I make a point of talking about in trauma work, right? So, like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't work with trauma victims.
Mm-hmm.
I work with trauma survivors.
Mm-hmm.
I work with warriors. I work with strong people, but not to say that, they didn't go through something, but to say that they have overcome something and they will continue to overcome by learning from what they've experienced and using that
Yes.
knowledge to improve their lives.
Yes.
hmm That's stepping out of depression. That's how you step
Mm-hmm.
out of depression is by, okay, I'm going to allow myself to feel how I feel. But after that, after I cry, after I'm sad, what am I going to do about it? What is my
Mm-hmm.
action plan to get myself out of this situation?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what is my strategy for my come up that I'm getting ready to have from this story? Right? That's what we want to hear. Solution
Allow your
focused.
allow
Mhm.
yourself to feel, but
Mhm.
have a solution at the end. You know, like
Mhm. Pick yourself
we
back up.
we're yeah, we're all normal. So allow yourself to feel. Go through go through the emotions of whatever it is,
Mhm.
but come up with a plan. And no, it's not going to be the plan. You may not come up with the plan right then and there. Maybe it may take the next day, the next couple of days, but come up with a plan. You know, a solid plan
Mhm.
and
Yep.
follow through. Don't procrastinate.
Mhm. Right. So, again, we're talking about how to come out of self-sabotaging behaviors. First, you have to be one to check yourself, take accountability for what you're doing and how you're adding to your own suffering, right?
Hmm.
And then change the narrative, right? If you come to therapy or you come to coaching and you say you've been doing certain things, your whole life a certain way, and you don't want to change anything that you're already doing, why are you there?
Hmm.
I've asked many a client, so how is that working for you? How
Hmm.
can I help you? You say that you don't, you say that you're depressed and you've been doing things a certain way your whole life. And I come to you with solutions and you have an excuse for each one of those solutions. So what are you choosing to do?
You're wasting your money at this point.
We all are not above change. We all need to
Hmm.
change,
Hmm.
right? In order to improve on ourselves.
Hmm.
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 So yeah, stop self-sabotaging.
Hmm.
Kick yourself in the butt and get yourself back
Hmm.
up. Hmm.
Push yourself.
Got you. Anything else you want to add, Coach Jay, before we close it out?
Um,
I
so
was just
before you check other people, first check yourself.
exactly, exactly. Love it, love it. Thank you all again for listening, and thank you all for those who have gotten this far in the recording. We appreciate you. Keep sending us our other suggestions. We're happy to hear those, and
Yes.
we'll see you again next time.
All right, you guys. Bye.
Bye.